You're tired. Maybe you don't even know why, but you feel it. You feel like you're always carrying some invisible weight, like it's your duty to keep everything in balance, to please everyone, to avoid conflict. Always be kind, understanding, polite. You learned early on that being a good person was the right path, that the good ones win in the end, that if you're kind, others will be kind too, that being fair, honest, and humble would be enough. Enough for the world to see your worth. But what if I told you that's a lie, a comforting lie, taught to keep you well behaved, predictable, controllable? How many times have you stayed quiet just to keep the peace? How many times have you erased yourself to avoid disappointing someone? Let someone disrespect you, take advantage of you, and still, you smiled and said, "It's all good." You swallowed your tears, your anger, your pride, all in the name of a supposed virtue. That only made you invisible. Listen closely. The world does not reward nice people. The world rewards strategic people. If you're here, it's because you felt it. You've tried being the nice one, the good friend, the understanding person. And now you're starting to see, the more you try to be accepted, the less you're respected. The more you give, the more they take, and the less you're valued. And that's where Machiavelli comes in. Machiavelli wasn't the villain some say he was. He may have been the first to speak the raw truth about power. He saw what most ignore. That pure morality, disconnected from reality, is a trap. Being seen as good is not the same as being effective, fair, worthy. So let's talk, without filters, without masks, about why you need to stop trying to be a good person. No, this doesn't mean becoming cruel or cold. It means waking up. Waking from the childish dream that the world is fair, that being virtuous is enough to be rewarded. We're going to face the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, because as long as you're trying to please everyone, you are in their hands, a hostage of your own kindness. And if you're already tired of being used, ignored, discarded, then maybe it's time to change, to learn what they never taught you, to take control of your life. So, let's begin. Do you still believe the world values good people? Look around. Who are the most admired? Who gets leadership? Who earns respect, influence, space? Is it the most generous, the most compassionate, the most just? Or is it the most strategic, the most assertive, the hardest to manipulate? The truth is harsh. The world is not ruled by kindness. It's ruled by utility. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He didn't write The Prince to teach people how to be cruel. He wrote it to explain how the game is played. And one of his most painful lessons is this: being good is not enough. In fact, being good is often the fastest way to be discarded. You can spend your life loyal, kind, understanding. You can give your best, help others, expect nothing back. But the day you're no longer useful, you're forgotten, replaced, silenced. And the worst part? Without a second thought. Because the world doesn't measure your worth by your values. It measures by what you deliver, by the influence you hold, by the impact you make. Have you noticed? The nice ones are always chasing, explaining, justifying, trying to prove they're worthy. Meanwhile, the ones who set boundaries, who say no, who speak with clarity, they're respected, they're heard, they have space. Why? Because blind kindness looks like weakness. Because those who never confront, never threaten. And those who don't threaten are not taken seriously. They're seen as tools, not as people. You can wear yourself out trying to please, but if you don't represent power or consequence, no one will think twice about using you. It's brutal, but it's real. Machiavelli said, "If you must choose between being loved or feared, choose to be feared." What did he mean? That true respect comes from knowing you have the power to act, that you won't be stepped on without consequence, that you're not just a piece in someone else's game, and that goes for you too. If you keep living to be liked, you'll keep being treated like you don't matter, not because you're bad, but because the world doesn't reward those who disappear. If this message is resonating with you, leave a comment with "I see it now" and share your thoughts. Let's start a real conversation. No filters, no masks. It's time to understand where this constant need for approval comes from. Because behind your kindness, there's something deeper. Something that may have been sabotaging you for years. And that's exactly what we're going to explore. In the next part, We'll dive into the psychology behind people-pleasing. We'll uncover why being nice is often just fear, wearing a friendly face. You weren't born needing to please everyone. That was taught to you. Worse, it was conditioned. Since childhood, you learned that acceptance comes at a cost. You had to give up parts of yourself, force smiles, swallow desires, silenced opinions, all just to be approved of. From "don't do that, it's not nice," to "be polite," to "don't talk back." You slowly shaped yourself to fit the mold others handed you, but no one ever warned you. Trying to please everyone is a trap, a psychological prison built with poison compliments and punishments disguised as good upbringing. You learned that if you pleased others, you'd be loved, and that if you got angry, said no, or stood up for yourself, you'd be rejected. So you did what any mind does to survive. You adapted. The problem is, that adaptation became submission. Now, you don't know how to say no, without guilt. You feel responsible for others' happiness, even if it drains you. You get frustrated but keep it hidden. Disappointed, but you forgive too fast. You wear yourself out trying to maintain the image they expect from you. Not because it's who you are, but because you think it's what makes you safe. Here's a reality check. This isn't kindness, it's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of not being loved. Fear of being seen as bad. Fear of being yourself, with needs, with limits, with a voice. And this fear has shaped you into someone who sabotages themselves. Someone hiding behind behaviors that look good, but feel hollow. You call it empathy. But it's fear of conflict. You call it understanding. But it's fear of abandonment. You call it kindness. But it's fear of not being enough. Your kindness is a mask, an unconscious defense to avoid the pain of being rejected. But this mask comes at a high cost. It suffocates your authenticity, your strength, your dignity. And if you don't take off the mask, it becomes part of you. It fuses with your identity. And one day, you'll look in the mirror and not recognize who's staring back. But there is a way back. And to find it, we need to learn from someone who understood image, perception, and power like no one else, Machiavelli. In the next part, we'll get straight to the point. We'll see what the prince can teach you, about how to stop being a hostage to your need to look good, and start being respected for who you really are. If you're living your life hoping people will see your integrity, your morality, your ethics, stop. Machiavelli warned over 500 years ago. This path is beautiful, but dangerous. Because in the real world, it's not the good who win, it's the effective. And to be effective in life, you need more than good intentions. You need strategy. You must understand. People don't respond to your goodness. They respond to interest, to power, to what they fear, and what they want. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few feel what you truly are." That sentence hits hard. It crushes the illusion that being pure and real is enough. People don't see your intentions. They respond to your image, your presence, your impact. You could be the most just person alive, but if you look weak, you'll be treated as weak. You could have the biggest heart, but if you don't inspire respect, you'll be ignored. And that's why Machiavelli speaks to you, because you are the prince. Anyone who wants control over their life must stop being naive. They must appear virtuous when it's useful, and be strategic when it matters. Machiavelli said the prince must know how to use the nature of the animal well, to be a fox, seeing hidden traps, and a lion, commanding fear. This metaphor is brutally true. The fox is clever, silent. It sees what others miss. The lion, its presence, its power. It makes others hesitate. Machiavelli never said be one or the other. He said, be both. Be wise enough to spot manipulation, and strong enough to make people think twice before testing you. You want respect? Then understand this. The virtue Machiavelli speaks of isn't what the moralists preach. It's not passivity. It's not self-erasure. It's real virtue, a mix of courage, intelligence, and self-control. It means acting with coldness when it's necessary. It means understanding that sometimes appearing cruel is the only way to keep order, not out of malice, but out of wisdom. Here's another quote from Machiavelli. "A man who wishes to act in all circumstances like a good man is doomed to ruin among so many who are not good. And you know this. You've been that man. You've tried to be good in every situation. And what did you get in return? Abuse, silence, injustice. People do not play fair. And if you keep pretending they do, you will always lose. This doesn't mean giving up your values. It means stop letting them chain you. It means learning to act with strength, to look clearly at how your goodness is being used by others. Machiavelli wasn't cynical. He was clear-eyed. He saw the world as it is. No filters, no illusions. He wrote The Prince as a survival manual for a world where appearance is power, and weakness, even when disguised as virtue, leads to ruin. But maybe now you're asking, is there a way to find balance? How do you stop being naive without becoming heartless? In the next part, we'll shatter the false idea that you have only two choices, to be nice or to be cruel. There is a third way, and it begins with the courage to stop lying to yourself. There is a deadly confusion that ruins many lives. The idea that to be a good person, you must be submissive. That being good means accepting everything in silence, forgiving everything without question, swallowing what hurts just to keep the peace. This is not kindness. This is naivety. It is cowardice, wearing the mask of virtue. And if you don't learn to see the difference, you will keep being the emotional doormat of the world. True kindness doesn't require you to erase yourself. It requires awareness, clarity, choice. The being good does not mean being the smiling fool, always available, always cheerful, always giving to people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. That's not kindness, that's self-abandonment. It's emotional dependency wrapped in morality. Naivety believes others will treat you with the same heart you have. Naivety believes the world is fair, that if you have integrity, others will see it and respect it. Naivety expects gratitude, reciprocity, consideration, and it lives constantly disappointed, because it projects nobility onto people who have none. True kindness is different. It's firm. It knows how to say no. It knows when to walk away. It understands that not everyone deserves your best. And giving your best to the wrong people isn't generosity. It's waste. You can be just. You can be compassionate. You can live with integrity and still be feared, still be respected. You can be someone who commands presence, who knows what they accept and what they will never tolerate. Machiavelli, though often seen as cruel, did not hate virtue. He hated naivety. He knew that in a world of predators, kindness without strength is just fresh meat in the jungle. So now ask yourself, is your kindness protecting you or exposing you? Is it making you stronger or quietly destroying you? Because if your idea of being good means swallowing injustice, accepting crumbs, blaming yourself for feeling anger, then you're not being good, you're being dominated. But there is an antidote. There is a middle ground where you don't lose your essence, but you stop kneeling for scraps, where you act with courage, with clarity, with emotional intelligence. And in the next part, we'll explore exactly how to find this place. We'll talk about how to stop being nice without becoming cruel, and finally take control of your life without betraying yourself. Because many people, when they wake up to their own submission, fall into a dangerous trap. They think they have to become cold, harsh, unfeeling. They go from being too soft to being too hard. This is the rebound effect. After years of being used, you think the only way to survive is to become the opposite, tough, indifferent, calculating. But that too is a lie, a disguise, because when you kill your essence to protect yourself, you're not strong, you're in denial. That's not power, it's trauma in costume. Real freedom begins when you learn to be whole, when you stop living for others and start living with yourself.